Hi, let's talk about creating alternate personalities. A couple of months ago, I released a PDF, a white paper of some 35 pages, about how to hypnotically manage and create personality alters. These are hypnotic alters in which they have entirely different personalities. Now, as you might guess, this caused a slight bit of backlash in some of the various discussion groups. There were people who were opposed to the entire release of the information, and there were people who were intensely curious about it. So I want to address some of those concerns right now. One of the first concerns that comes to mind is there are people out there who would use this technology, this particular program, to control people. And yes, they would. And they would be motivated by incredibly selfish desires. I can tell you that seldom works out. Unless you are a total sociopath who has no empathy, what's going to happen is you are going to create someone who is entirely emotionally dependent upon you because you are managing this alter, and it's going to be more than you want to handle. So if you're motivated to actually practice this because of some sort of prurient need or desire or adolescent want, I recommend you don't do it. Something else that is entirely possible is that the people who you find who are most susceptible to this type of programming are people who have very poorly defined boundaries. This can be a problem because if they start projecting things onto you more than you want, you're going to have to live up to it. I guess the essence of what I'm trying to say here is that this idea of creating hypnotic alters in people that are hidden by an amnesia barrier, it is a massive responsibility. It is something that I would discourage anyone from doing. But it is a very interesting study. And for that reason, knowing that it can be done, knowing how it is done, can be very valuable. I have said this before, I'm not the information police. This information you will find out there if you look for it. The only thing I've done is I've gathered as much of it together into a pile so that you can read it concisely and as thoroughly as possible. There's a lot more information out there. What you would get with this is some very useful information that tells you what is possible with hypnosis and the extreme limit that is possible. I also want to point out that this is not easy to do. It takes a person with a certain degree of experience and ideally a person of really strong moral character to be able to do this type of work with somebody, to actually create a personality alter. I have only done it in a very minuscule sense of creating parts within people. And that's as far as I want to go. Your experience may be different. I would love to hear your feedback.